Everybody. My name is Tom Mell. I'm one of the committee members here for the Athletic Hall of Fame. Today's going to be a great day. It's my absolute honor and privilege to welcome you to this unforgettable day, the 2025 St. Clair Shores Athletic Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Today we gather not just to celebrate greatness, but to honor those whose dedication, talent, impact have left a permanent mark on our hearts, our history, and our community. The Hall of Fame is more than a wall of names or a list of achievements. It is a testament to perseverance, passion, and the pursuit of excellence. Each inductee we honor tonight has shaped their field, inspired countless others, and shown us what's possible when purpose meets hard work. So today, we don't just look back at what's been accomplished. We celebrate legacies in the making. Let's get ready to applaud greatness today, some powerful stories, and create a few unforgettable moments of our own. Welcome to the Hall of Fame banquet. This wouldn't be a St. Clair Shores community event without some of our dignitaries from our city council. Councilman John Karen, Councilwoman Candace Rusi, Councilman Ron Fredericks. Hey, Ron. So we thank you guys for coming today. Now I'm going to bring up our Honorable Mayor Kip Walby.
Mr. Mell, thank you. He kind of took a little bit of my thunder, but let me start out with thanking the Parks and Recs Committee and Parks and Rec staff and the committee, the Hall of Fame Committee. They do a great job. It started here in 2014, and it has always been a highlight for me to attend one of these events. And again, Parks and Rec does a great job, just not in this event, but all throughout the city. So a little round of applause for the Parks and Rec administration, who do a great job for St. Clair Shores. I, too, want to welcome you to the Hall of Fame 2025 induction ceremony. It is a privilege to honor residents who have excelled in athletics. The athletes have worked hard and spent countless hours and put tremendous amount of discipline, determination, and dedication, met their goals, achieved them, and made their family, their friends, their neighbors, and this community, St. Clair Shores, proud of all their accomplishments. A job well done. We applaud the excellence that you have seen. I was actually talking to my buddy over here, Mr. Nicholson, and he was talking about, highlights a lot of the 70s, so I'm a little, even though I am old, I don't remember all of these years. I did experience many times watching, actually, I probably shouldn't do this, but it is what it is. I experienced many times watching Don Fowler play basketball for De La Salle. I'm an old pilot, and so I always enjoyed playing them. But 70s was a time in sports when we had dynasties. We had the Yankees, we had the Canadians, we had the Steelers, and apparently we had Lakeshore Shoreans, right? So with that, I congratulate all of you on being 2025 Hall of Fame inductees. You definitely are worthy. The committee does put a lot of effort in making sure that you are worthy. And this committee, this group of inductees is truly worthy of being part of the St. Clair Shores Hall of Fame. I always love the stories, so I look forward to hearing the stories, and thank everyone for attending this great event. Thank you. So we're about ready to eat. I'll bring my wife up to say the prayer, and then we can dig into some good food. Nice. They set this up very nice as my wife Michelle comes up here. They did a very nice job. Appreciate Barrister Gardens.
If we could all just pause for a moment to give thanks. The book of Romans talks about how we are one body, but we are all differently abled and differently gifted. And the book of James tells us that every good and perfect gift comes from the Father above. So with that in mind, Lord Jesus, thank you for this beautiful day to celebrate accomplishments and achievements within our neighbors and in our community. God, I just thank you for every gift and talent that you've given us, and I ask that you would just bless the food that we're about to receive. Help us to have a beautiful time of reminiscing and giving praise to people who earned it. In Jesus' name, amen.
We're going to get started with our inductions. If you guys want to grab a seat, or if you don't, that's fine too. Okay, we're just going to go in alphabetical order. When we go through these names, I'm not going to read everything out of the program. You guys all have the program that you can read. We are going to bullet point some of the nominees' highlights, a lot of them. So we're going to do that, and then we'll let the nominees come up. You guys are welcome to speak. If you have a representative here to introduce yourself today, you can do that as well. That was something new that we offered. This would be the first year we did that, but it's not necessary. I have all your information right here. Okay, our first nominee is Dave DeVita. He's a distinguished athlete, coach, mentor. Dave's had an impact on the world of hockey, and his commitment to his family and community have earned him a place in the 2025 Hall of Fame. Born and raised in St. Clair Shores, Michigan, Dave began his journey as a passionate player and went on to achieve remarkable success in both his athletic career and his coaching endeavors. Here are some of Dave's accomplishments as an athlete. Member of the Fraser Blues Pee Wee Major AAA National Champions, 1981-82. Member of the CompuWare Bantam Minor/Major AAA National Championships, 82 to 1985. Dave was drafted by the Oshawa Generals in the OHL in 1986. He then played with the Stratford Clintons Junior B League champions. Dave was a key contributor to the 1987-88 NCAA Division I National Championship hockey team from Lake Superior State University. And he was also honored by the Lakers in their Hall of Fame. Dave represented Team USA in 1991, playing for the U.S. Select Team and participating in the U.S. Olympic Festival. A sixth-round pick in the 1988 NHL Draft, Dave spent several years playing in the Buffalo Sabres organization. Dave contributed to share his passion and knowledge for the game with the younger generation. From 1995 to 2018, Dave coached various age groups, including squirts, pee-wee, bantams, and midgets. For those of us that don't know hockey, those are different ages. I work at an ice arena. I'm slowly learning this stuff. Dave earned USA coaching accreditations in Michigan, Kentucky, and Indiana, and worked with numerous hockey and skating instructional programs. Please help me in welcoming Dave DeVita to the 2025 St. Clair Shores Athletic Hall of Fame.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for having me today. I really appreciate this award and recognition. Couple of quick thank yous to start off with. Matt Crippen, thank you for thinking of me here for this nomination. And thank you to the dads and Colin Smith, some of the kids that I coached, lifelong friends for me forever for here on out. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. And thank you, congratulations to all of the other honorees here today. It's awesome for you guys. Thank you so much. Couple of comments. I won't spend too much time, but I'm a big fan of the East Side. I grew up here in St. Clair Shores, played my minor hockey at St. Clair Shores. With the way St. Clair Shores is, to go play AAA you have to move and go play some of the other areas, CompuWare, Little Caesars, some of the bigger programs. But back in my day, St. Clair Shores had midget AAA, and they had a junior program. So I came back and I played at St. Clair Shores for AAA. I actually played for Colin Smith, who ended up being a co-coach when we coached my son. This is his grandfather. So full circle moment coming back here. And funny story on that, we were just talking about it today. I'd been back maybe a month or two. My son was on our team. Colin and I were coaching. His grandfather was in the lobby, and I grabbed him and I said, hey, I want you to meet the guy who was my midget coach. And so I dragged Colin out of the locker room. We went out to the lobby at St. Clair Shores, and I said, you know, here he is, John Lalani, was my midget coach. And Colin looked at me and said, yeah, he's my grandpa. So didn't realize it until, but the east side is a bubble, right? So I grew up in in St. Clair Shores. My dad worked at Chrysler Highland Park. My mom stayed home, raised a family, went to St. Joan of Arc. My brothers and sister all went to St. Joan of Arc. High school, Austin, Bishop Gallagher, Notre Dame, Star of the Sea. So born and raised on the east side. My wife and I were married at St. Joan of Arc. My dad was an usher. When we had an 8th grade reunion about 10 years back at St. Joan of Arc with that group, sort of impromptu, planned in a couple of weeks, we had 46 people show up for that 8th grade reunion. To me, that's what's really special here about St. Clair Shores and the east side. I'm still really good friends with a lot of people that I spent a lot of time with growing up. I got started in hockey. The Nizer family were friends with my family, and Scott was one of their sons. He was a caddy for David Toms for many years on the PGA Tour, and Andy and I were best friends, and Andy was playing hockey. He was 6, 7-year-old hockey. The Nizers talked my family into getting me to play more of a social aspect so my parents could get out and have some fun with the hockey parents, because as you guys know, the hockey parents have quite a bit of fun. I loved it, even though it was terrible. My brother, who's here tonight, John, I can't thank you enough. He always had time for me. My dad worked. My mom was busy. He always made time for me. Took me to skate at St. Clair Shores. I learned to skate on the Milky River, Baldock Park, Elmwood Elementary. My house backed right up to Elmwood Elementary School. Back in the day before all the kids started breaking up the ice rinks that were outside, but used to spend all kinds of time out there. My brother had a dog, golden retriever, Raleigh. I remember for hours being out there trying to stick handle, keep a tennis ball away from him out on the ice rinks. My time in Stratford and juniors was awesome. Moved away from home my senior year and played with some unbelievable people. Not to name drop, but I just feel so lucky. I mean, Rob Blake was my defense partner that year in juniors, and I think he's a current GM and vice president of the Los Angeles Kings today. So just unbelievable that I was able to spend that type of time in my career with those type of people. My Lake State time was awesome. As I was telling the guys here at the table today, Lake State's about 2,200 students, and about 1,000 of them every day come over from Sioux, Canada. They go to school for the day and they go back. But from 1986-87 through the mid-90s, for that 8 or 10 year stretch, we beat everybody. We won CCHE championships, went to the national tournament every year, and we're national champions in 88, 94, in 92 and 94. So 3 out of 8 years, won national champions, D1 hockey, beating all the big schools with all the money and all the recruiters. So it was an awesome time for me to be able to spend my time there. What I want to come back with here today is from a full circle moment. I'm really, really appreciative of being able to grow up here and spend my time here. We moved away to Kentucky and Indiana. My son wanted to play hockey. There's no hockey down there. He was the only kid shooting a tennis ball in the driveway when we were down there. So when we had a chance for my work to move back, we came back, started him in hockey here. But being here has just been an awesome opportunity for him. My wife and I were married at St. Joan of Arc. My kids started to go to school there. My wife's a coach of the volleyball program at Grosse Pointe South. My 3 kids, 2 daughters, and my son have all worked their way up to play college volleyball, and my son now is committed to play for Lake Superior State hockey. So when we talk about a full circle moment, I grew up here and played, made it there. Now he grew up and played through the Shores. Looks like he's going to make it there too. And I just think that the east side, again, is something special. Everyone that's not from here is from the west side, right? So we're here. So again, to wrap up, the point of this is not to name drop or talk about accomplishments. I just think this is a really special place. And grateful that I've been able to spend the time here and raise my family. They've all done well. It's been a launch pad for me, for so many special friends and so many moments that I've had, giving me my family. So again, I'm very honored and appreciative for this, and thank you very much. Congrats to all the other honors.
Another round of applause for Dave. You know, we talk about, if you've been from St. Clair Shores, you talk about being a Shores guy. And it's a big deal. I get a little emotional when I talk about this stuff. We talk about our committee, and the mayor didn't like to say everybody's name, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you our Hall of Fame committee. So it's Mayor Walby, who's a lifelong resident, Raz Pizzola, Lakeshore High School, Tom Mell, Lakeshore High School, Sean Nicholson, lifelong resident, Lakeshore High School. So there's a lot of Lakeshore people in the hall. And Matt Crippen. Matt's our golf course manager. He's from Dondero. So we only let him in because he married a Lakeshore girl. Yes. Yep, she graduated with me, and she's a teacher at Lakeshore. So let's hear for the Lakeshore people. Okay, our next nominee is going to be Don Fowler. It's both a privilege and a pleasure to introduce a truly remarkable individual in the 2025 Athletic Hall of Fame, Don Fowler. I personally had the opportunity to watch Don's development as an exceptional athlete at De La Salle Collegiate. I was Don's JV basketball coach when he was a freshman at De La Salle. He led our team in scoring, assists, and steals, and it was easy to recognize Don was going to have quite a career at De La Salle. I remember we were playing a summer league game at Macomb when Don was a senior, and we were playing River Rouge, who was rated number 2 in the state, with a very accomplished coach in Mark White. And I remember Don scored about 35 points. And I remember that coach calling timeout and saying, "Can somebody guard that guy?" Because he just dominated the whole team. And that was Don. He's the most unassuming person you'll ever meet. Doug talks for him because Don doesn't talk. Here's some of Don's accomplishments. Don helped lead the varsity basketball team to 4 consecutive district championships. Don was a starter as a sophomore on the varsity team. By his junior year, he was all Catholic. He was first team All Macomb County. He was first team All Metro East, and he was honorable mention Class A All State. As a senior, Don again was a member of the All Catholic League team, first team All Macomb County, first team All Metro East, second team All State Class A, and was voted the 2007 Macomb County Player of the Year. Now we've had 2 other Lakeshore G'd athletes that were Macomb County Player of the Year, Dave Grouser, Travis Conlon. So this was the 3rd one that I know. As a senior, his leadership on the court was unquestionable as he helped De La Salle reach the 2007 Class A Final Four, one of 2 seasons where we won 20 games at De La Salle. Don's senior season helped him earn a scholarship to Michigan Tech University for basketball. Don was equally successful at football. His junior and senior seasons, he earned all Catholic League honors, first team All Metro East, and All State honorable mention. In his senior season, he was named to the All Macomb County Class A second team offense. Don was also the recipient of the Wendy's Heisman Award, a testament to his athleticism, work ethic, and commitment to excellence. Don was a key contributor to the pilot football team, district championship, regional championship, and appearance in the state championship game where Don had 135 yards in total offense. Don was a member of the National Honor Society, a Detroit News Scholar athlete, and he received that full scholarship to Michigan Tech. As a freshman at Michigan Tech, he earned the Bob Olson Award as the team's top newcomer. Don was named a team captain during both his junior and senior year at Tech. He was also the GLIAC All-Defensive Team in both his junior and senior year, as well as a recipient 2 times of the Harold Massey Sportsmanship and Leadership Award. It's an honor in welcoming Don Fowler into this prestigious circle. Please join me in celebrating the incredible achievements of our newest Hall of Fame inductee, Don Fowler.
Yeah, I'm not really one to talk, so bear with me. I'll be quick. I know the Pistons are playing right now, so everyone's getting an update from there. But first and foremost, I want to thank the City of St. Clair Shores and the Athletic Hall of Fame Selection Committee, along with Mayor Walby, for this incredible honor. Being selected for induction into the St. Clair Shores Athletic Hall of Fame is something that I truly cherish forever, and is not only humbling, but when I look back on it, it really has been full circle for me. I was born and raised here in the Shores. It's where I started playing sports. It's where I fell in love with sports from as early as age that I can remember. I was that kid in shorts outside in the middle of winter playing basketball, changing the ball every time to the puddle, coming back home with wet gloves, but you just couldn't keep me from playing sports. In the summers, I'd knock on the neighbors' doors to see if they wanted to come outside to play some sort of game, whether it was basketball, baseball, football, or even hockey season. It really didn't matter. I just wanted to do something. I remember going up to Kite Monroe, playing basketball with my dad, or riding my bike over to whichever of my friend's house that had the best basketball court in their yard. Like I said, growing up, you couldn't keep me away from playing sports, and I spent my first 18 years in the Shores. So to be recognized by the very place that built me, it means more than words can really express. They say it's just a game, but sports have always taught me more than just how to win or compete. It taught me how to lead, how to persevere, and how to stay disciplined. These lessons have allowed me, or had followed me into every stage of my life. Sports truly did lay the foundation for me. It also took me places that I wouldn't have ever gone before. From the very tip of the Upper Peninsula to all parts of Canada and everywhere in between, it's crazy where this simple game can take you and the people that you'll meet along the way. But no matter what, St. Clair Shores has always been the home to me and always welcomed me back with open arms anytime I came back here. Now, there is enough time to really recognize and thank everyone that's been there with me along the way, but please know how truly thankful I am. None of those accomplishments that you just heard would have been possible without all of you guys. I was lucky. Honestly, all I had to do was show up. I was surrounded by great coaches, some of that are in the Athletic Hall of Fame themselves, as well as even better teammates that even came today. You challenged me, encouraged me, and made the journey something unforgettable. We built bonds, learned lessons, and left it all on the field and the court. And to this day, those bonds are still they are along with the countless memories that we can share. Now, I do need to individually thank my family, though. Everyone who is here today were the same people that were at every single game, especially my parents. You were always my biggest supporters, and even my earliest coaches. I'm not exaggerating when I said they were at every single game. I remember I went to college in the Upper Peninsula. But somehow, some way, they managed to be there, cheering from the stands, pushing me to give me my all no matter what, and always there for me through the good times and the bad. Like I said, I was truly lucky to be surrounded by the right people. So I'll leave you with this, and it's what I would tell that little kid playing in the backyard in the middle of winter in shorts. Don't be afraid to fail because you're going to. But if you aim high enough and give it your all, you never know where you're going to land. My first year at DLSL, we had a class where we had to write down our goals for all of high school. Mine were simple. I had two of them: win a state championship and get a Division I scholarship. Well, I was 0 for 2. I failed. First one, I came just as close as you probably could to a state championship. If you know, you know. And secondly, I was blessed to receive an athletic scholarship to a Division I school to play the game I love, basketball. So as I said, I was 0 for 2. I failed. But I'll tell you this much. When you can go back to your hometown or go back to all the schools you've been to and be welcomed and see people that you know and always have something good to say about you, well, for that, I've truly won and truly feel blessed. So keep working and keep believing. You never know where your dedication will take you. And always remember, greatness isn't just measured by stats or trophies. It's measured by the impact, legacy, and the character you carry with you. Thank you again for everyone who played a role in this honor. I am greatly, greatly grateful. That's not what it says, but just kind of riffing here. And lastly, to my city, thank you for raising me, shaping me, and now honoring me. Thank you all.
Anybody have clinics? Thank you. Okay, today we have the honor of welcoming someone whose journey has inspired countless others, whose impact is undeniable, and whose legacy will live on for generations. Our next nominee is going to be Matt Trombley. Some of Matt's accolades. Matt Trombley was a 3-year varsity basketball letterman for Lakeshore from 89 to 91. Matt was a teammate of mine. When I was a senior, Matt was a sophomore. And we used to call him Matt. He was taller, but he was a little chubby. And we used to call him Brick Trombley because he liked to shoot a lot, and he didn't make anything. But when I went back to see him the next year, things had changed. His junior and senior year, he was first team All-Macomb County. Matt's senior year, he averaged 25 points per game. He was named the league MVP and was Macomb Daily Dream Team selection. In 2015, Matt was honored as one of the top 50 basketball players in Macomb County history over the past 50 years. Matt continued his basketball career at Michigan Technology University, another Michigan Tech guy, where he scored 1,327 career points, ranking among the top 20 in school history. In 1995, he made history at Michigan Tech. He was their first ever GLIAC Player of the Year. That same season, he recorded 53 steals and scored 665 points, achievements that are still ranked 3rd and 7th, respectively, in school records. In recognition of his outstanding college career, Matt was inducted into Michigan Tech's Hall of Fame in 2010. After college, Matt played and coached professionally for 1 year in Denmark, where he averaged 35 points per game. Was it Helsinger, Matt? Helsinger Basketball Club. Like I said, Matt was not afraid to shoot. Matt turned to coaching several years later and coached several programs in our area: Lakeshore Boys and Girls, Lakeview, Bishop Foley, and Grosse Pointe North. In 2005, he led the Grosse Pointe North varsity boys team to a Final Four and was named both Macomb County League Coach of the Year and Detroit Free Press Coach of the Year. And that year, he knocked my De La Salle Pilots out of the regional. Wasn't too happy about that. In 2008, he helped guide the Grosse Pointe North girls team to a state championship as an assistant coach. It's with great pride and admiration that we officially welcome Matt Tromley into the St. Clair Shores Athletic Hall of Fame.
So thank you, Tommy, for bringing up that nickname that I thought I would forget forever. I have a nightmare tonight. Thanks to all the other inductees for getting the unwritten memo to wear a blue suit with a shirt underneath. We all got that, I see. It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much. Thank you for my brother for nominating me for this honor and the committee for accepting it. And I'm so happy to be here. And I have a few notes that I wrote down, but I will tell you that I didn't write a speech like I normally would write. It's been a crazy busy week. Yesterday I got to coach my son in Grand Rapids AAU in 3 games. We were home 1:30 in the morning and then up early for church this morning. I'm a pastor here in St. Clair Shores at Life of Purpose Church, and I have a couple tables here. And so it's really great to be here with other GLIAC grads. Michigan Tech was a great place for me. I got to play for Greg Essler, Hall of Fame coach. Coach Essler instilled in me a solid work ethic, always telling me don't be satisfied, and that kind of gave me that drive, that work ethic. Then I played for Kevin Luke, who Don also played for, and he taught me perseverance, always giving my best every single day, which I really learned and appreciated. Then I started coaching, coached with Gary Bennett, another Hall of Famer, legend at Grosse Pointe North with the girls, still coaching. He just taught me this deep love for coaching and just being, having this grit to win games, to dig in deep through intense practices, so I love that. And then I get to coach now with my friend over at Lakeview, John Carr, best friend since high school, another Lakeshore grad. And he gets he leads a great basketball program there, producing men of integrity, which I like, and my son, who is also on the team. I thank my wife for her unconditional love and support as I embrace my passion for basketball, and I thank my daughter for giving hoops a chance once, Ellie, and she always comes to the games. And I thank my son for trusting me to coach him, but then also to be able to separate that relationship and then just be father and son when we're outside of off the court. Thank my parents for both being here. They always supported me, my dad and my mom, their endless love. And I think this game, as Don said, it's a game, but it's a game that teaches a lot of lessons. And the lessons that I've learned through basketball, perseverance, as was mentioned, and having a work ethic, opens up doors. Got to travel quite a bit, which is just a lot of fun, and I've enjoyed doing that continuously, and how to be a leader. And I look at all those experiences that I had as a basketball coach, as a player. It was a lot of fun, and then you look at your life, and you, I've been able to do some different things. I started off as an engineer coming out of Michigan Tech. That didn't take. I went into sales, and then the Lord got a hold of my life, and then I began to get into ministry, and was a youth pastor. Went back to school, got a teaching certificate, taught for 16 years in Utica schools as a math teacher. I enjoyed my time doing that as well, in doing ministry. Also was pastoring a church, and so all of those experiences I look at, and I look back, and there's a couple of verses that I wanted to share. And don't worry, I won't preach too long. I've already preached twice this morning, so. this will just be a couple things that I'd like to perhaps encourage everyone else with. But in Psalm 139, which is one of my favorite Psalms, Psalm 139, verse 16, it says, "Your eyes saw my unformed substance, and your book were written, every one of them, the days that were formed for me, when as yet there was none of them," which basically says that the Lord has already determined the steps that we take. He already has plans for us. We say that a lot. I hear a lot of people always say that, God has a plan for your life. And I believe that. And I believe He has certainly done that in my life. And when I think about all the things that I was doing as a basketball player and as a coach before I even knew the Lord, before I was even walking with the Lord, and then I look back now and say, wow, look what He did. Look what He was doing. And I remember my mentor saying that to me one day, saying, "Why do you think you were the captain? Why do you think you were always in these leadership roles?" Because He's prepared you for this. He's preparing you for this. God is always writing our story. And it's when we acknowledge it and we recognize it that it's such a blessing. And the other verse that I wanted to share is how the Lord has done what He's done in my life to take me to the point of being a pastor. That's not something that I ever imagined would ever take place, but the Lord has done that. In fact, Ephesians 2:10 tells us we are His workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. And when you dig into that a little bit, we are His workmanship. It's actually a word that we would translate poem, and that our story is God's poem. It's a beautiful poem. Every one of us in this room, God is writing our poem, our story. And I look at the life that I get to live now as a pastor and to be able to encourage people. And as I told our church this morning, my prayer is that thousands and thousands of people would know that God loves them and God has a plan for their life. And I'm here today to praise Him, to give Him glory. I'm thankful that I have lots of people here to support me and love me and encourage me. I'm so thankful for that. I'm so thankful for all of this and all this honor. But I give all of this credit, all the glory goes to my Father in heaven. It's for Him that I live. It's the purpose that I have. And He's writing this story. And I just am excited to see how the story continues. And for you as well, that the story that you would recognize is God writing in your life. You are His poem. So thank you. God bless you. And hopefully I'll see you soon. Life of Purpose.
Okay, it's with my great honor to introduce our next Hall of Fame inductee, a person whose story is not only one of success, but of dedication, resilience, and unwavering commitment. Please join me in welcoming our next nominee, Don Young. Don has a representative here to speak for him.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Grant Garrett, and I had the privilege of being Don's roommate and track and field teammate and friend during the time at Kalamazoo College. And that was nearly 50 years ago, believe it or not. From countless hours that we spent together on campus to staying in touch over the years, especially when Don and Barbara visited Detroit from their home in Texas, I can truly say that Don has always exemplified strength, camaraderie, and humility. And it's my honor to share some of Don's remarkable athletic accomplishments, a testament to his relentless drive, his pursuit of excellence, and his pure talent. At Lakeshore High School, he was a running back on 2 bi-county championship football teams, the 74 and 75 season teams. His senior year, he was a bi-county shot put champion and became the Lakeshore High's shot put record holder. And I believe you still are the record holder. If that wasn't enough, that same year, he was Macomb County's invitational discus champion. Not surprisingly, he was awarded the Lakeshore High's Outstanding Senior Male Athlete Award. At Kalamazoo College, a member of the MIAA, a Michigan Intercollegiate Athletic Association, Don earned 7 varsity letters. He was a 4-year football starter on the offensive line, and he was repeatedly named All MIAA First Team Football Honors. As a senior, in a very close game, Don was named MIAA Offensive Football Player of the Week for his performance against Alma College when Kalamazoo was Michigan's sole undefeated college football team. When not playing football, he pursued his talents in the track and field events, where he achieved repeated MIAA track and field team honors. He came in first in both shot put and discus in the MIAA track and field. He competed in the NCAA track and field championships in 1979 and 1980, and he was recognized as the NCAA track and field All-American in 1980. He was the holder of the NCAA Division III discus record at 185 feet and 1 inches. At that time, he was honored with the Kalamazoo College Opie Davis Senior Athletic Award. And in the year of 2000, he was inducted into the Kalamazoo College Athletes Hall of Fame. These accomplishments only scratch the surface of who Don is, and not just as an athlete. He's also the best friend a person could have. I know him. I know his family could attest that he is a remarkable father and husband. He is an inspiration to all who know him. It's my privilege to introduce Don Young.
Thank you, Grant. Well, it's my honor to be here, and I'm delighted that not only to receive this honor, but to see so many of my former teammates, both in track and field and football. Want to thank the mayor, the city, the committee, and all the youth coaches in the Lakeshore area and the northern part of St. Clair Shores. We had so many great athletic fields, baseball diamonds, Gordie Howe Hockey Land, athletic fields for developing hockey youth and youth in all kinds of sports, football, baseball, you name it. We had great coaches. I remember Green Hornet, we had Coach John Uren, who taught us a lot about the game of football. We also had, in the Lakeshore School District, what changed our lives really was when I was in 9th grade, Coach Mike D'Angelo came from Servite High School and brought his system to us. So the junior highs and JV teams implemented his playing system, and we wound up having some great games and a great run. That 74 team that first won the championship. The other thing I learned from Coach D'Angelo was every play that he would describe would always end in a touchdown. So he would describe the quarterback taking the ball. He could hand it off to the running back, or go down to the end and cut in if there's an opening, or he could pitch the ball to the tailback that was trailing. So we learned that every single time the ball was snapped in football, it could lead in a score. The other thing I learned from him was really watching him when coaching in a game. There was one game in the 74 season that was the first year we won the Bi-County Championship that year, and we were defeating our opponents quite handily. So the coach made some changes where he brought in the second team players and some players that really never got much playing time. And there was some discussion on the sideline, well, why not just, run up the score? He brought us together and basically told us something. He said, that coach on the other side of the field right now is challenged. And every coach out there has been that coach before. He said, we can be humble champions and give some of our teammates a chance to get some playing time. And I thought about that a lot through life, and I think it really comes into play. You can win, you can be a winner, but you have to look out for your opponents and your other team. And that carried forward when I was realized that the coaching staff at Lakeshore did a lot of work for us behind the scenes. If we were interested in playing in college, They wrote to a lot of teams. They provided our game films, made a lot of connections. You know, many times they'd pull us out of class to learn about a program somewhere. And so really got us thinking about, you know, what do we want to do once we graduate from Lakeshore? From there, I went to Kalamazoo College, and it was very interesting for me because I went from a very large high school to a college where 1,200 students, that was just a little bit larger than my graduating class at Lakeshore. But it was a great experience, small classrooms. We made a lot of great friends like my friend Grant here. We learned a lot of lessons. One of the most interesting things I remember is we had an expression during warm-ups where somebody would yell, "Everybody wants to go to heaven," and then a silence, and then, "But nobody wants to die." And so that lesson, I learned a lot about the fact that if you have a goal or an achievement, you really need to work on it. And there's always a goal, and there's always an outcome that you can control and do your best. The other thing I remember is that there were games throughout my career where we may have lost, but we might have been outplayed, but we were never outperformed in terms of conditioning. Every coach I had here in St. Clair Shores and in college really put us through a lot of conditioning. So you're at the end of a football practice, and then you have to go to the line and do wind sprints. And I got to tell you, that thought has saved me many times when in my working career where, for example, I'd have meetings in Japan or in Europe, and you're fighting jet lag and you feel awful. And I just thought about the times when we were called to the line to do those wind sprints at the very end, and it's been quite inspirational in a life journey. I want to also thank my family and my late parents, because without their support, I remember my father dropping me off at the old North Shore Elementary School where the Green Hornets were practicing when I was 9 years old. And then from there, we went over to the Kite Monroe field the next year, and then, of course, off to schools. And without their support, like so many parents in this community, we wouldn't have been introduced to sport and all of its benefits. I'm fortunate I met my wife Barbara in Texas, and we have two sons, Ryan and Morgan. One lives in Boston, one in Dallas. Oddly enough, our younger son, Morgan, wound up being a great ice hockey player. Well, in Texas, Houston brings together a lot of oil companies, a lot of Canadians. He had teammates from Norway, from Scotland. So he really enjoyed a quite great ice hockey career, played for Texas A&M. And so I never thought that my hometown, known for hockey, would have some connection back to us. So with that, I thank everyone, and we'll appreciate this very much. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Actually, a funny story how we got Don in. I happened to be over at Guy's Barbershop one morning. Yes, I do go to a barbershop. And Don happened to be in town for Christmas. And he got out of the chair, and him and John Bicknell, was the Lakeshore guy, was talking. And he said, "Oh, that guy right there, he's one of the best athletes ever at Lakeshore." I said, "Really?" He goes, "Oh, yeah, man, he played football, and he played at Kalamazoo College, and he was this unbelievable discus guy, and he's got all these records, and Division III. And I said, "Man, that guy's like a great candidate for the Hall of Fame. You should get him nominated." So my buddy John went and filled out the information, tracked his brother down, got the information, because his brother lives here, I believe, still, right? And here we are today, right? So, nice job. Okay, our next nominees are going to be our football teams. Our 1975-76 Lakeshore team, our 76-77 Lakeshore team, and our 77-78 Lakeshore team. Like the mayor said, this seems like a dynasty. From all accounts that anybody can take in, these had to be the best football teams in the city history. I understand Coach D'Angelo, some of us try to get him here. His health isn't that good, but we wish him well. The 1975-76 Lakeshore football team was the first bi-county champion in school history. They had a record of 7-1 with a winning percentage of .875 and a point differential of 150 and 40. So this laid the groundwork for the first football program in Lakeshore history. At that time, there was no state playoffs. So despite having a tremendous record and winning the league championship, there was nowhere to go and play another game after that. In 1976 and 77, the Lakeshore team went 9-0 with a winning percentage of 1,000, a point differential of 240 and 36. Okay, so unbelievable accomplishments. They had 11 players selected to the all-league team. They had the most valuable player in the league in Mike Dietz, and it was the first time that they had a player that was selected to the all-state team in Mike Dietz. In that year, the MHSA had started a playoff, but at the time, there was only 2 teams from a region taken to the state playoffs. So due to the point scoring system at the time, an undefeated team was left out of the playoffs because of some of the teams they had to play had lesser point values. So despite being undefeated and probably being considered the best team in the state, they were left out of the playoffs. 1977, here comes another football team. Bryan County champs again, 3 years in a row. State tournament regional champions, state tournament semifinalists. Record of 10-1, winning percentage of 909, point differential 303 to 26. I believe they were undefeated, unscored upon until the state semifinal. Same group of players, unbelievable accomplishments. Lost to Brother Rice 14-7 in the state championship game, or I'm sorry, the semifinal. And it was close at the end, and from what I understand, they had a chance to go in and score. Anybody remember that? Should have won. Paul didn't fumble, did he? No, okay. So it's my great honor. We're going to bring all the teams up together. It's my great honor to introduce the 1975, 76, 77 Lakeshore football teams into the Athletic Hall of Fame. Come on up, fellas. Everybody. We're going to try to wrangle one representative from each team to speak. They don't have a lot of talkers. Guys like Tom Szymanski's not a talker. Not a talker. I believe we're going to get the team captain. Mr. Rochville, you going to come up here? Sure. There you go.
It's okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you to the committee here. Quick story. I knew Don Young. I saw Don Young play football. Back in that day, he was a fullback. Don ran straight over and ran over people. That's what kind of football player he was. On the track team, where I got to know him, the discus was just started being played. Don started out, by the end of the season, he was throwing that discus farther than anybody in Macomb County, I believe. So, what a great football player. What a great track person. The team that I was on now, we won. And we usually won big. Like I said, we should have won that last game, but that's a whole nother story. It's great to see a lot of the guys here. A lot of great people, St. Clair Shores people, quality people. So glad that I was invited to this today. And I had a chance to be on the 76 team. Tom Szymanski was our captain, one of our captains. Great football player. A lot of good football players over there. Those were great times. And I just want to say thank you for those great times, guys.
So like Ross said and some of the other people, you were either a Green Hornet or a Black Knight, and that's where we all played Little League football. And then you went to Kennedy or Rogers, and we beat each other up in those big games where Lakeshore would sell out when Kennedy played Rogers, and then we all went to Lakeshore. And of course, Mike D'Angelo was there. But my senior year, 76, 77, undefeated, didn't make the playoffs. And one day, the coach from Wayne State was at school, and they pulled about 7 or 8 of us out of class. Mike Dietz, Sam Aluya, Phil Shalino, Brian Bartnick. So we all got pulled out of class, and Mike D'Angelo was in the room. And the coach from Wayne State said, you know, before I tell you about Wayne State and possibly playing, you guys are the finest team I've seen in the whole state this year. I was at 3-year games scouting, and you would have beat either one of those teams in the state championship game. So it was a little consolation, but we didn't get in after going 9-0. But truly, they could have probably added one more team to this, and that would have been Doug Fowler's group, who sort of started like in 74-ish and got this thing rolling with Mike D'Angelo. But truly, probably 3 of the best teams ever in Macomb County and in the state of Michigan.
Okay, that concludes our banquet for today. Again, thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you to the nominees for all your work and accolades. It's been a great day. Thanks again.